All right, it is weekly color review time. I just finished up my second day in Romantic Country, and we will get to that in a minute. But right now, I want to review my coloring this week on this page using 9 different sets of pencils. So hopefully you will have a nice good view of this. I do have an image that will be posted at the end if you want to do a closer inspection of the different sets. So I am going to pick the set I liked the least, and I cannot believe I am saying this, but it is true. So this giant flower I did with Polychromos, and it was so dry and hard to get a smooth surface. You can even still see, like, I did circles, I did lines, I did everything I could to get a smooth finish, and the blue is just so dry that it did not fill in for me. So I have a Prismacolor. Let's just take a look. Like, this particular petal looks really dry. So let's see if I can smoosh some of the color down and smooth it out. It still just doesn't look like, if you look at that one petal, it's just still, for whatever reason, for this particular, I should never have picked it. My choice was Lightfast, Prisma, or Polys. I'm going to do the Polys. And I cannot believe that it was so disappointing. And now that I'm using this Prismacolor colorless blender, it's actually scraping off. Look at the blue is coming off. It's not staying attached very well to the paper. And there's the tip. Now, I've got another option. Prismacolor white. Now, what happens with white typically is it will change the color. See, it immediately will lighten the color, which would mean I'd have to come back through again. So I'm not thinking that is my best option. I'm using a very soft hand with this white just to see if I can get... That's actually better. This was the colorless blender. This one here is the white, but I can still see it's lightening the color. So for whatever reason, this particular image just did not do well using the Polychromos. I can't believe that that happened. So disappointed. I had high expectations. I was totally thinking this would be my favorite. Okay, so that was my least favorite, and because I had the highest expectation. Officially, the image that colored the poorest quality, as expected, was Prang, and that's this image here. It's not that this image is bad or anything. It's just not as pigmented as the others, so it really can't compete. So Poly was my least favorite with the highest expectation. Prang just didn't have the payout, and its nearest competitor, Crayola, right here, did fantastic. It even felt less dry, though it was a drier pencil. It was not as dry as the Polys. I still am baffled by that. Okay, so from there, these were the ones that were the lowest rated. I did have to, I would say my highest rated, it's tough. The professional pencils I used were Holbein. I'll even put little marks. I did Holbein in 2 spots. This one and down here, this red. And it was the creamiest. Holbein was the creamiest, which is crazy, but the Prismacolors were not as creamy feeling to me, though I did like them. The most even color and the brightest, smoothest color I have to give to Derwent Lightfast right here. The blues and the reds just were so smooth. Even like the Prismacolor, and this could be me, my skill level. The Prismas are a little streaky. I really like the Brutfuner squares, but the blues are a little bit on the streaky side. I didn't get a totally smooth transition between the colors like I did with the Lightfast. And this is Speer Farben, and again, big challenge, but I thought it was up to the challenge, and it looks pretty darn good. It's not as smooth. Let's try. I do see some tooth. So let's do a little colorless blender mixing. Nope, I am not seeing the tooth fill in any more than it already is. It's only the blue that looks a little speckled to me and not a perfectly smooth. And then the more I use the colorless blender, it starts to pick up more of the blue. Now let's try. Can I do a soft Prisma white? Like I tried on the polys. Yeah, that actually smooths it out quite a bit. I did use a little bit in the black here. I used the Caran d'Ache Full Blender Bright. And this Ivory Black by Derwent is just black, and it came out very nice. So I will say, if I wanted to smooth out this particular one, which is the Speer Farben, I could use, this is the one with the white. Colorless blender isn't helping, but white, very softly. Is a solution to that problem. This right here is Evazar. I really like the Evazar, so if I had to break it down into like cost categories, Derwent Lightfast would be my professional favorite, and Evazar for how smooth the blues, because it seems like the blue is the big challenge. I think Evazar did the best job of the budget sets. So these are my two favorites. And I will highlight these in the description. All in all, this was really challenging, and it took forever trying to get these transitions. I think I sat in bed 2 nights with the polys, and last night I did the Evazar and the Crayola. And that was work. But overall, the page came out nice. Let's move on to my embellishing. This gold is golden yellow, and it came out nice. I should have used my eraser, my little power eraser. I was hoping that this, being that it is not opaque, it did not hide as much the little over marks that I had. So I should have cleaned it up first. And then the outline frame is 4 colors. I used from dark to light. Darkest is Sapphire Blue G35, Capri Blue G33, Sky Blue G30, and Pastel Blue G29. So this week, now that I have introduced Big, I will be coloring at least 4 days a week in Small Victories. For those of you who really enjoyed Small Victories, this is not going away. And I have 6 different sets to put over here. Now, I already told you that I was going to not do the pastel tints or pastels or metallics. Those will all be done over here, as well as the ones I have left on my list to do include the Eragotin. I used the Crayola. That was one I introduced and mixed in over on this left side. And then I have 2 metallics, 2 pastel tints, and I don't know, I think that will finish off this round, which I'm calling round number 4. And I think when I start round number 5, which I think I've already established the rotation for round 5. Let's take a look ahead. Oh my gosh, we've got some fun. We've got jars. Jars and bottles. Can't wait to do those. And then a nice fish scene. So my guess is these should be fast. Then we will slow down, and I don't know that I would get past 2 pages in the week. I maybe could start this one at the end. Because remember, I'm only coloring 4 days in this book now that I've introduced the big. And I do apologize for those people who really enjoyed the Small Victories, but I'm ready for a little more challenge and want to continue on my journey. So going to coloring in a big book for the sake of coloring a big image and figuring out, you know, how to balance the whole image, I'm ready for that challenge. So that's the plan for Small Victories this week. Moving on now to, I will keep all of these little stickies. I should probably do 30 of them, one for each of the sets, and then keep them in order. If you want to see what my little cheat sheet looks like, here is my cheat sheet that I established. See, I originally had Prisma and Poly, and then I decided, oh no, I'm gonna make those Polychromos shine. I'm gonna do the polys on the big one. And then everything else I pretty much kept as my original plan. And I have done no planning yet for these. All right, moving on to what did I do in Romantic Country. So I do have a little bit of a scratch sheet where I worked on some colors. This is what my page looks like thus far. I will be working on the tooth with these colors. I may have to go deeper. I'm going to get the bookshelf done first before I commit to filling in the tooth, because for me, when I fill in the tooth, then you're done. You don't get any more take backs or add mores without a lot of work like erasing and such. So I'm leaving the tooth showing on these 2 parts till I get more done in the background, and then I will come back in and finish these off with either colorless blender or color, and then the blender if I need it. So just so you can see the color palette that I have to work with, let's see if we can fit all 4 sheets. I think we can't quite fit all 4 sheets. I am doing a bunch of the browns. I will be doing, I picked kind of a middle red brown for these 2 elements, and then the back I want to be dark, a dark brown bookcase with a coordinating dark brown fireplace. I already have you can see that my blends are somewhat limited, so I am using this dark umber in 2 or 3 of my different blends. I've got an orange brown, a brown brown, and a red brown. I do have sepia right here, which doesn't look to be as dark as the umber. Sepia I'm using for shadow, and I'm finding I did the cat's shadow, and I think I need to probably pull out black as well. I've got my blues picked. I'm doing a 5. I have 5 blues, and I've only used the first 3 so far on the book, the Afghan and the rug. We will see if I integrate blue maybe in the images. There's a bunch of, photographs framed, so I might get a chance to put some of the lighter blue. I did start on the insert. It needs to go darker. It's cool gray, so I will be going with some darker tones, because this is 70%, so that's the darkest gray I have. And I will be coloring 2 times a week on this page. And as I get going with it, I still could do some of the books with you, and then maybe do the books off to the side. I haven't decided if I want to be coloring with you 100% through, and then maybe I just do some cleanup. I have not quite decided yet. So I did enjoy coloring 2 days in Romantic Country, but I would like to break them out. I actually did 2 days in a row with Romantic Country, and I think I'm going to be picking, I'm just guessing, Tuesday and Thursday will be possibly big days, rather than having it be the 2 days at the end of the week. So I have not settled on that schedule yet. Alright, so to finish off this video for the week, I wanted to share some of my channel statistics. This is something Hub was encouraging me to do, so we'll see how it goes. Again, I am not intending to offend anybody, but I did have 2 interesting points to note from last week. First, I had shared with you that the Polychromos flower was what I felt was the weakest, and that I had the highest expectation for it. And ironically enough, it is clearly the #1 video for the week, gaining me 9 subscribers. And the overall subscriber count for the whole week was 23, which is 15, it's not on the screen, but it is 15% higher than my average. So I have been working hard each week on improving my content, and because the page that frustrated me, the part of the page that frustrated me the worst, was actually the one that was well received, shows that my idea of sharing all of my pencil sets equally and not leaning toward one over the other is working well, because I'm giving everybody in my arsenal of pencils the same amount of time. So that wraps it up for the week. Let me know what you think of the big color. Let me know what you think of me sharing the statistics as I grow my channel. And everybody have a great week. Please do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, and consider subscribing. And I will see you all again tomorrow. We will return to coloring for the day in Small Victories. I'll see you then.